Okay, now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Last time we have finished the Buddha Vassa in Cālika Hill. Actually, the Buddha spent Vassa 3 times in Cālika Hill. We cannot find many other sources, many other suttas. We just know only one event that happened in Cālika Hill. That is Venerable Meghiya and his unwholesome thoughts. Also, the Buddha delivered discourse to Venerable Meghiya, and he also attained headship. But now we are going to continue talking about the Buddha's 20th Vassa in Rajagaha. So the Buddha spent his 20th Vassa in Rajagaha. Actually, there are many other Vassas in Rajagaha. We can find the records in the second Vassa, the third Vassa, the fourth Vassa. The Buddha spent Vassa in Rajagaha. That means this is the first country the Buddha had ever spent Vassa 3 years continuously. In the fifth Vassa, the Buddha spent in Vesali. Okay, now here we also have 17 Vassa and 20th Vassa. The Buddha spent his rain retreat in Rajagaha. So here we have to introduce the conditions of King Bimbisara. So you have already known his beautiful queen, Queen Kema. She was ordained as a bhikkhuni. So we have already mentioned after fifth Vassa, spending in Vesali, the Buddha also allowed bhikkhuni ordination. So Queen Kema was ordained after maybe fifth Vassa when Buddha visited Rajagaha. So Queen Kema was from Sagala city, the daughter of Mata Raja, that means Mata Kingdom. Then you have already know another queen, the daughter of Kim Kosala, younger sister of Kim Pasenidi Kosala, Vedehi, mother of Ajatasattu. So since King Bimbisara had to manage his country, then he was very busy with many activities and many affairs. So we can also understand a forgetful king. How can we say he was a forgetful king? Okay, practically when he offered Viluvana Monastery to the Buddha, he forgot to share merit with his departed relatives or all relatives. So he had to do another kusala and he shared merit with his relatives. Then here I should introduce a few more things about his forgetfulness. Here I will list out the name of the bhikkhu. Venerable Gautika, This also second branch. He was ordained from second family. Then another one, Venerable Subbahu, Venerable Wanliya, Venerable Uttiya. Actually, these four are from second family. That means they were princes before their ordination. So King Bimbisara invited them to spend Vassa in Rajagaha. But he forgot to build their bamboo huts completely. So that's why I asked AI to draw bamboo hut under construction. So that means these four venerables spend Vassa. These four venerables are going to spend Vassa in Rajagaha, one of the forests nearby Rajagaha. All their bamboo huts are under construction. As Vassa is getting nearer and nearer. It's well prepared for cover of the wall, bamboo wall, but not yet roof. The king forgot to offer the roof. You can imagine in the rainy season, if there's no roof, how can we survive? Then, although it's very beginning of rainy season, but not yet rain, it took time. The king also thought, why it does not rain? But luckily, he remembered, oh, I had to offer root for bamboo huts for four venerables. That means four bamboo huts. So he arranged properly. At the time, how these four Bande lives. We have to understand this one. So the king promised him to offer kutis or living place or bamboo huts for them. But he forgot. So the four venerables just radiate metta toward the kings out of compassion. So we can also imagine if somebody cannot keep their promise, how we should do, how we should live. There's a guideline from these four venerables. So since they were arhats, they can enter into metta jhana very easily. So you may have already known what's really called metta, right? But since they don't have hatred toward the kings and the royal family, they can radiate metta very easily. For ordinary people, we must have very wise intention. We must have very open-minded or very wise knowledge. Also, not only that, we must have be very kind to the kings. So they have very much kindness to the king. Out of compassion, they can spend their time entering metta jhanas every day. So that is why the rain is delaying. So when the king remember, after offering the roof, it started raining. Okay, sometimes people also ask, it really metta affected to other people? Because also it can affect other people. Of course, it will affect us first. When we have very strong metta, we can live peacefully at the least. So we don't hate anybody. Our mind is very pure. Of course, metta doesn't mean we love or we have attachment to people. We don't have too much attachment to the people. We don't have hatred too. We don't have hatred. That's why we can live peacefully when we have metta. Okay, for your knowledge, we should introduce a few different types of metta. For example, we may have bodily metta. In Bali, we call kaya kamma metta. We can show our kindness to the other living beings with our actions. When we have good actions, if our actions are helpful, then we have kindness to our living beings. Although metta is abstract noun or immateriality, we can see people's metta, people's kindness based on their own behavior. Similarly, people also can see our metta based on our own behaviors. Okay, now again, Vajikama metta, verbal loving kindness. So that means when we can speak effectively to the people without cheating or without telling a lie, without harming any living beings, so talking for the benefit of other people or other living beings, that means we have bhava, loving kindness. So that means metta is not audible object, but when we have kind speech, people can hear our kindness. Okay, what about mental loving kindness? You have already known when we can radiate metta, like may all living beings be free from danger. We can also visualize living beings. We can also really feel kindness toward them, wishing them to be free from danger. This is called metta. Similarly, visualizing living beings, we may radiate metta toward them, wishing may they be free from mental pain. May they be free from bodily pain. May they be well and happy. When we have this kind of wishing, was really, really kind-hearted, that means we have mental loving kindness. Of course, when we have mental loving kindness, our behavior and our speech will be better, more effective for other living beings. So now practically, these four venerable radiate metta toward the king. Although the king was forgetful, he could remember. Not only that, the rain cannot affect them. After well ruled, then there was the rain. This is the power of metta. Okay, now if you can try practically, you can also do metta every day, make your metta stronger and stronger until you don't have any enemies. It will be getting better and stronger. If we cannot hate anybody, if we don't feel any hatred toward any living beings, that means we have successful metta, successful kindness. It will be very effective for the community. Okay, this is the first part of the king. You can say the forgetful king, King Bimbisara. Then we have another part of his forgetfulness. That is a venerable Pilinda watcher. Okay, I have to say venerable Pilinda watcher and his biography first. Actually, he had very strong psychic power. He also had attained arhatship. So since he was an arhat, you can also understand no more defilements, no more impurity of the mind. So there's also one of the village we call Pilinda Gama. Pilinda Gama means the king offered many workers for him. 500 workers for him. Then it became a village. This is called Pilinda Karma. Why did it happen? Okay, there's one festival. Sorry, no, not festival, sorry. The king invited him. He was going to make a cave for his living space. But the king also asked him, Venerable Sir, what are you going to do? He replied, I'm going to make a cave. Then the king also asked, what can I have you? Then he asked the king, okay, I may need worker to make a cave. So the king promised, okay, I will provide workers for you, but he forgot. So you can imagine, when he remember, oh, I forgot to provide workers for Venerable Pilinda. He asked his attendants, how many days already I forgot? Then they reply, 500 days. You can imagine, more than 1 year and 4 months. Right? 500 days, right? Then more than 1 year and 4 months. Nearly 1.5 months. Sorry, 1 year and a half already. He forgot that long. At the time, Venerable One has already finished his cave, worked by other people. Then the king calculate all the day and the night. So since it passed 500 days, he offered 500 workers for Venerable One. So you can also imagine if there's a 500 people, it can be a village. Then this is also called Pilinda Karma. Actually, there are many other stories about Venerable Pilinda. I just want to talk about how the king was forgetful. So this is it, King Bimbisara and his forgetfulness. Then we also have to talk about the practice of Venerable Pilinda and how strong his psychic power. So actually in this village, most of them are poor because they were workers. So when there was a festival, many people around the city wear very expensive jewelries or any valuable decorations, but that village is poor. They cannot get that kind of valuable things. One of the teenage girl was crying to provide good ornaments for her from her parents. But the parents were poor, they cannot arrange. On hearing that, Venerable Pilinda asked them why she was crying. Then they replied, she would get expensive jewelry. We're going to provide. That's why she was crying. The Venerable One, by using psychic power, makes very good golden ornament for that little girl. So she wear the one when she joined the festival, people suspect, oh, she was very poor. Why she could get that kind of expensive golden crown? Maybe she stole it from royal family. The father was arrested. At the time, came the Venerable Pilinda visited the king and have the father. So he was that powerful, that famous. Anyway, this is a biography of Venerable Pilinda. It will be a very long story, but I will not say too long. So we should go to the next part. That is about Vinaya. So we have many Vinaya rules. In the 20th Vassa, we don't have very heavy Vinaya rules. At the time, many of bhikkhus are very good. They have very strong faith. They practice very well. That is why there was no difficulty, no problem. We cannot say there's no major problem, only minor problem at the time. After 20 Vassa, the Buddha had to lay down many Vinaya rules. But here we should talk about the reasons of laying down Vinaya rules. Actually, the Buddha laid down the rules based on these 10 conditions. The first one, Sangha Sutudaya, for the excellence of the Sangha. That means when there's a Vinaya, Sangha has to follow, no more complaint from lay devotees. You can also imagine when you study Vinayas, the Buddha laid out many rules because many people complain about bhikkhu's behavior. That is why the Buddha laid out many rules. If the Buddha laid on the rules, if bhikkhu also follow it, no more complaint. The more calmness, more peacefulness. Not only that, majority of bhikkhus are good. Only minority are very bad. When the Buddha laid down the rules, they will feel happy. Okay, it will be good for all the community. They may accept willingly. This is also called one of the excellence of Sangha. We have another one, Sangha Fasudaya, for the comfort of the Sangha. So this is also one of the things. So Sangha can live comfortably if they have to follow the same rules, right? Then they can live comfortably. Okay, practically, in Singapore, you have to follow the rules. Everybody have to follow the rules, the same rules for everybody. You may feel more safe, more secure. So similarly, if all the people follow the rule and regulations, they feel safe. Wherever they go, they're gonna feel guilty. They don't need to think about who are complaining us. This also for the happiness of Sangha, for the comfort of Sangha. Okay, now we have another reasons. Dhammagunam Bukkalana Nikahaya, for the restraint of shameless person. Okay, here I should introduce a few things about Domangu. Domangu means bad people. They have very bad mindset or very evil mindset. So when we say Nikahaya, we can also understand that we can say to pressure them. So if we can pressure bad people, of course they cannot be bad anymore. Well, we lay down the rules for them. So when you study the Vinaya, you can also find many bad bhikkhus. They break many rules and regulations, but also have to lay down many times. So yeah, Domingunam, bad people. Because mostly when we talk about Vinaya, this comes from speech and action. It comes from body and speech. When they do something bad, the Buddha had to lay down. When the Buddha lay down the rules, bad people have limited boundary. Good for good people is open. So for bad people, they may have bad speech. When the Buddha laid down the rules, they have smaller space. For good people, they have wider space. But they are good, right? They don't have that kind of behavior, they are free. Okay, now next one, we have Pisalanam Bhikkhunam Pasuviharaya. For the ease of well-behaved monks, I mean well-behaved bhikkhus. Okay, here we have to introduce the Pali words, Pesala. Pesala means love. That means we love Vinaya. We love runa regulations. This is called Pesala. So that means they love runa regulations, they love moral conduct, they behave well. That's why we say translate well-behaved monks or well-behaved bhikkhus. So they can live peacefully. They will be at ease when the Buddha laid down the rules. So we can understand these four. All of them come from community bhikkhus. Then we can also say these are external reasons for community harmony. So for the purpose of harmonies and harmony in community, the Buddha laid down the rules. We can briefly understand these four. Okay, we can go to the next part. Dita Dhammikanam Aswanam Samvaraya. For the restraint of taints in this very life, in this present life. Okay, here I should elaborate a few more things about Dita Dhammikanam Aswanam. Mostly we understand aswa as a taint or defilement. But in reality, aswa also means thoughts or mistakes. Because understand punishment. If somebody break the laws, they will be punished. So you may have already known some of the heavy rules in Parajika. For example, second Parajika, stealing. Venerable Janiya stole King Bimbisara's woods for construction. So you can also imagine he's the king. He can punish anybody, but out of respect to the Buddha and Sangha, he didn't punish them. He didn't punish him. So there can be some kind of punishment. This is also called asawa. Not only that, there can be bad reputation, the consequence of bad habits or bad behavior. So if there is a bad reputation, we live in the community, we are supported by devotees, how can we survive? So in the case of asawa, it also means bad reputation. So to prevent the Bhikkhu Sangha from bad reputation, the Buddha laid down the rules. This is the one thing. Also in Pali, we also use another word, yasa. Yasa means followers. Yasa also means faith. Okay, since we live in the community, we may have many different followers. Some followers are good, some followers are bad. So when we are going to do many bad things, of course, we may have many bad followers. It will be very bad for the community. It will spoil the image of the community. That's why when we say asava, this also can be considered as bad companions, bad followers. So to prevent bhikkhu from bad companions, bad followers, then the Buddha also laid down the rules. Then you can also understand many other problems like this. Although we say bad companions or, sorry, we can say bad companions or bad followers, right? There can be many other side effects or consequences of wrongdoing. So in this very life, we have to encounter many difficulties after doing one mistake. We have to solve many problems. So one mistake can lead us many miserable life. We have to solve many problems after making one mistake. If we are wise enough, we can handle everything easily. If we are not wise enough, we have to handle with many difficulties. So to prevent from that kind of difficulties, the Buddha laid down the rules. And now we have to move the next one. Samprayikana aswanam Bhatighadaya, for the warding off of taints in the future lives. Okay, here we just say to prevent mistake or miserable life in the future. After making a mistake, we have to suffer in this very life. Not only that, we have to suffer in the future lives. You have already know many stories about the Buddha, and then you may have already known many stories of like Venerable U Kovida, right? Also his Dhamma friends, Kadimoradisa or something. Okay, the main thing is whenever Devadatta became an example of his followers, they also follow them, all of them have to suffer, including Ajatasattu. Okay, you may have read one of the very famous sutta, Kesamudi Sutta or Kalama Sutta, right? So mostly we know they are the first part of that sutta. For example, like don't believe the text, don't believe popularity, don't believe hearsay, right? There are many don't. Mostly people remember all these things. Actually, at the end, that's also one of the guidance. If there's no future lives, we can live peacefully. If there's a future lives, we can be reborn in a good destination. Right? There are many people, they don't believe future lives. They just believe this present life. Although we don't believe future lives, okay, at least we can live in this very life happily and peacefully. This is also important. Because the main thing is these two are for our own purity, for our own purifications. We can make our life pure, better. We can live in the community peacefully. Of course, if we have future life, we can be reborn in good destination. This is also the power of Vinaya, training rules. So the Buddha laid down the rules for this purpose. Okay, now we have 7. Apasananam pasadaya, for the inspiring of faith in those without faith. There are many people, they don't believe in the Buddha, they don't believe in Sangha, they don't believe in Dhamma also. So when we can live peacefully, of course, our lifestyle can affect them. They were very impressive. Then, although they don't believe in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, on seeing our behavior and our lifestyle, they will admire. So they may gain faith. This is also one of the reasons, one of the purpose of laying down the rules. Okay, similar to that, we have number 8. Pasananam Bhavaya. For the increase of those who already have faith. There are many devotees, they have very strong faith. So when seeing and hearing bhikkhu's behavior and lifestyles, they may gain stronger faith. They may have stronger faith. So that's why Buddha also laid down these rules. So here in this case, we can understand public opinion because of the social reasons, right? So we can say those without faith, those who had already faith, gain faith. These are devotees or non-Buddhists. If we behave properly, if we speak wisely, they may gain faith or they may improve their faith. So that means at least we may not destroy people's faith if we follow Vinaya. So we can also say opposite way, right? So that means we will destroy faith of those without faith. Since they don't have faith anymore, right? We cannot expect anything for their future practice. So that means second one, Pasanam Bhavaya, we can also say those who gain faith will lose their faith if we don't behave well. So that means devotions come from our own behavior. If already person behave very well, if already person speaks very wisely, they may have more faith. They may follow, they may practice under his guidance. So the Buddha also laid down rules for bhikkhus, expecting these two. Now we have number 9. Saddhamma Titiya. For the longevity of truth Dhamma. What does it mean? For the longevity of truth Dhamma. Actually, there are 3 types of Saddhamma. As we have already known, Pariyatti Saddhamma, learning. Also, we have Patipatti Saddhamma, practicing. We also have another one, Adhikama Saddhamma, achievement. This is what we have to do in Buddha teaching. 3, first learn, second practice, that we may achieve. So although we have already know many Vinaya rules, if we don't practice, we cannot achieve anything. As we have already known, the morality is the foundations of concentration. Without morality, we cannot expect concentration. So that means when our morality is pure enough, we can achieve concentration naturally. Of course, based on morality also, we can practice vipassana. Okay, I will give one example. You may have already known Venerable Mahātissa, who broke his legs. And after that, he meditates whole night. How he trying to overcome pain? Actually, he recalled his morality. When we have very pure morality, after recalling, we can rejoice in it. If we can rejoice, we can also say in Pali, pamaja, delight or rejoice. Then pamaja will produce piti, rapture or joy. When rapture becomes stronger, it will produce passaty, tranquility. When tranquility becomes stronger, it will produce sukha, bliss. When sukha, bliss, becomes stronger, it will produce concentration, samadhi. These are the process or the practice. When we have morality, based on morality, we can experience all these processes one after another. So you may have already known the meaning of concentration. Whenever we talk about concentration, we have to remember two things: asset concentration or absorption concentration. These are achievements based on morality. When we have concentration, there will be yatha bhuta jnana. We can know things as they really are. That means we can know ultimate realities, mentalities, and their causes. And the power of concentration. These are also achievements. Based on that, if we can take path and fruition knowledge, this will be higher achievement. So under the name of Satama, learning, practicing, achieving. As long as we can learn, we can understand well. If we can understand well, we can practice correctly. If we can practice correctly, we can achieve. Then if we can learn, practice, and we can achieve, it will prolong the Buddha teaching. It will prolong the true Dhamma. For this purpose, for this reason, the Buddha laid down the rules. Now we have to move to the last ones. Vinaya Nuggahaya, for the support of the discipline, Vinaya. Okay, here I should elaborate a few more things about Vinaya. What does it mean, Vinaya? Actually, Vinaya also means taming or subsiding or training. Vinaya also called discipline. Actually, we have many different types of Vinaya. Whenever we say Vinaya, there's something to avoid. For example, not to kill, not to steal, not to have such a misconduct, not to tell a lie, not to take any intoxicant. We have to avoid doing this kind of things. In Pali, we call samvara, restraint. This is also called Vinaya. Not only that, we have to give up, abandon. In Pali, we call pahana. Pahana means give up or abandonment. We have to give up bad behavior. We have to give up bad mindset. If we don't have good minds, of course, we're going to follow Vinaya. We're going to follow rule and regulations. When we have good mindset, we can follow easily. We can be moral. The main thing is we have to give up something. We have to give up bad behavior, bad speech. This is also called Vinaya. We also have another part of Vinaya. This is called subtle. Of course, if there's a problem, there's a rules. If there's a problem, we have to settle. We have to solve this problem. If we know how to settle the problem, how to solve the problem, this is also called Vinaya. In Pali, we call samatha, settle, or solving the problem. Actually, there are many different ways of solving problem. For example, okay, now even in the politics, in the we can say election, we can vote, right, for president or minister or something. For senator, we can also vote, right? Similarly, in Vinaya also we have that kind of voting system. We have to follow majority. We have that kind of voting system. Anyway, there are many different types of problems, many different ways of solving. If we know how to solve the problem, this is also called Vinaya. Okay, another things. Panyati. Mostly we can also understand Panyati as a rule and regulations. We can also understand another way, like a boundaries. We can know our boundaries. Actually, when we live in the community, there must be boundary between two people. If we live 3 persons, we must have boundary between among three people. If we live in big community, we need more boundaries among many people. This is also called discipline. So everybody may have personal space. Right? This is also called boundaries. So here Vinaya means we must limit our boundaries between among many peoples. If we live 2 persons, between 2 people. This is also called Vinaya. In Pali, we call Panyati Vinaya. Okay, if we summarize, to support this kind of Vinaya, we should say restraints, right? There are many people, they will avoid doing wrong. To support them, what are laid on the rules? There are many people, they want to give up wrong idea, wrong thoughts, bad behavior, bad speech. To support them, what are laid on the rules? There are many problem makers. Then we have to solve the problem. To solve the problem, what are laid on the rules? We live in a community. We need personal space. We need boundaries and rules among us. So to protect each other, the Buddha laid down the rules. These are the reasons of Vinaya by the Buddha. So I have already mentioned in the very beginning of today's talk. Before 20 Vassa, there are only minor rules, not many major rules. After 20 Vassas, there are many major rules. You can also say very heavy rules. Another thing we have to know, I did write down here. The first 20 Vassa is called Patama body. We can say the first period of the first period after enlightenment. Within this 20 Vassa, many people could attain arhatship. Not only that, there were many ehi bhikkhu. So you may have already know what's really called ehi bhikkhu. For example, the first arhat, Venerable Konanya. After listening Kammaṭṭhānācariya Sutta, he attained Sotapanna. So what I say, ehi bhikkhu, kam bhikkhu. Right? Then he became bhikkhu naturally with robes, boards in his shoulder. This is called ehi bhikkhu. Not only that, attainment also very high. In Buddha's lifetime, we have many arhats. They are called Parisambhita. That means they have attained arhatship together with analytical knowledges. Among the ordinary noble persons, that means among the Sotapanna, Venerable Ananda also have attained analytical knowledges. So there are many arhats like this. Then there can be another types. The arhats, they could attain arhatship together with psychic power. We call in Bali Chala Binya. Chala Binya means 5 psychic powers together with arhatship. It's called Chala Binya. Okay, for your information or for your easy understanding, if we say Cālika, that means they can fly on the sky. They can tap into the water. They have that kind of power. This is called Cālika, Arhat. Like Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mawlamyine, Venerable Mahakassapa. Not only that, I already mentioned Venerable Plinavacha, right? He can display psychic power. So these kind of arhats also a lot after before 20 Vassa. If we summarize, there were many noble persons, many arhats before 20 Vassa, or maybe until 20 Vassa. This is a Buddha's lifetime. After 20 Vassa, less arhats. Okay, one more thing here, we should introduce a few more steps. Anibbata. Anibbata means the first 20 Vassa, the Buddha visited here and there. The Buddha spent Vassa in different places. This is called Anibbata, impermanent. After 20 Vassa, from 21st to 44th, the Buddha spent Vassa in Savatthi. So then maybe the next topic will be about Savatthi. Right? Today we just talk about Rajagaha, right? The next topic will be about Savatthi. Anyway, so after Vassa, the Buddha visited many different places, but when getting near to Vassa, the Buddha came back to Savatthi. He spent Vassa in Savatthi from 21st to 44th. Every Vassa he came back to Savatthi. This is how the Buddha spent his Vassa. Okay, now, not only spending Vassa, but also attendance. What about the Buddha went somewhere? Some people follow to have the Buddha, like assistants or attendant bhikkhus. So until 20 Vassa, there was no permanent attendant. Here I will list out. Venerable Meghiya was also attendant bhikkhus. We have already talked about it when the Buddha was spending Vassa in Cālika Hill. What is his mistake? Actually, he cannot find the Buddha. The Buddha said not to go to meditate in the mango grove. He didn't listen. He complained. Of course, Buddha, the Blessed One, you have already finished, done all the things that me, the Buddha had already attained headship. At the time, Venerable Meghiya was just ordinary bhikkhu. So I need to practice. That's why I have to go to mango grove. He didn't listen. He meditated in the mango grove. He has many wrong thoughts. He came back in the evening. The Buddha delivered a short discourse to him. Then he could also attain headship. Okay, we have another attendant bhikkhus, Venerable Nagasamala. Okay, now in the picture, you can see he is going to put the bow on the ground. So he carried the Buddha's bow and the ropes. In the crossroads, the Buddha was going to, going to take the straight paths, but he want to go another way. So he said, Venerable, Blessed One, I should go to this way. I should go along this way. The Buddha said, don't go there. He rejected. Okay, I will put your bow and rope here. Then I will go my own way. Then Buddha had to take his bow and rope back. This was one of his mistakes. And now we have another one, Venerable Ubhavana. Actually, in the case of Venerable Ubhawana, we cannot find any mistakes when he was taking care of the Buddha. Now we have another one, Venerable Chunda. Actually, Venerable Chunda is the younger brother of Venerable Sariputta. We cannot find his mistake also. Then we have another one, Venerable Sunakata. Actually, when he was following the Buddha, he also saw naked ascetic. When seeing them, he thought, oh, they were really arahats. They have very, that means they can eradicate defilement. That's why they don't wear the clothes. Actually, Sunakata also one of the literary prince. He was ordained from Rishtavi Kingdom, right? He came from Rishtavi Kingdom, he was ordained as a bhikkhu. So since he came from a royal family, he was a little bit arrogant. He didn't listen to the Buddha. This is also his mistake. And now we have the last one, Venerable Sagata. You may have known Venerable Sagata. Actually, we have one of the rules in Bhattitiya that is about taking intoxicants, Sura Miriya. Actually, this is Venerable Sagata. He made that kind of mistake. He take intoxicants. Actually, he really respect the Buddha. But when he take intoxicants, he cannot show his respect to the Buddha anymore. This is his mistake. So within the first 20 vassa, the Buddha does not have permanent attendants. So these are his attendants from time to time. So some of them follow the Buddha's advice respectfully. Some of them will not follow the Buddha's advice very respectfully. So these are the first part of Buddha's life until 20th vassa. So in the 20th vassa, after 20th vassa, the Buddha visited many places. So the Buddha has arrived at Savatthi. Then we have another event that is about Venerable Ananda. Okay, you have already known who is Venerable Ananda. Is it also one of the cousins of the Buddha? Since the Buddha does not have permanent attendants, the Buddha had to encounter many difficulties. You can also imagine the Buddha's age at the time. The Buddha had attained arhatship and Buddhahood when he was 35 years old. Now 20 vassa already. So you can imagine Buddha was 55 years old now, getting older. So the Buddha may need permanent attendants. So at the time, many other arhats requested to Buddha to be attendant. For example, Venerable Sariputta requested the Buddha to be attendant, but the Buddha rejected because Venerable Sariputta has many other duties. He's the second Buddha. After the Buddha, he's the second person. Similarly, Venerable Mahamoggallana, he could not be permanent attendant around the Buddha all the time. He had many duties. He could do many things well. That is why he cannot be permanent attendant. But you can also imagine there are many other very famous disciples. They requested to be attendants. But Venerable Ananda kept kept silent. The Buddha knew Venerable Ananda would be permanent attendant. Venerable Ananda also came satisfying the Buddha. Then many people also reminded or encouraged Venerable Ananda to request to be permanent attendant. But he kept silent. Actually, there are many other conditions Venerable Ananda requested. So today we have very short time. We're gonna talk about what he requested. Also, 1 hour, right? 1 hour Dhamma talk. So maybe today I will stop here. Okay, now if we say easier way, we are going to talk about the next part of Buddha life story. That means second body, we call second 25 years. So you have already known there will be very few bhikkhus who could attain arhatship. There are many rules and regulations. There will be many rules and regulations after 20. So we can start from 21st, right? So before we go to 21st, we have to talk about Venerable Ananda and how his request to the Buddha. Okay, now I will stop here. May you all be able to practice the Buddha teaching. May you all be able to realize manifestation and not suffering. Yadavada ja'amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabba sambadi siriyam idam me nyadinam hodu sukhida hondu nyadayo idam me nyadinam hodu sukhida hondu nyadayo idam me nyadinam hodu sukhida hondu nyadayo idam me bunyam asawakaya waham hodu idam me bunyam Nibbanasa Pajayo Hodu Mama Bunya Bhagam Sabba Sadanam Bhajemi Te Sabe Me Samam Bunya Bhagam Labandu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu